Hi everyone, Chas with Chas's Crazy Creations. Please join me for a mindful moment. Today I am going to set my computer up really quick. In case you want to drop any comments and ask me any questions at the end of the show, I'll go back and check and see if anything is there live. So I'm just getting it started. I'm going to put it on mute and I'm going to go ahead and in the comments drop down a new stress reduction group that I have put on Facebook that I'd love for you to join me. And then I'm also dropping a link to some of my favorite mindful supplies. I just started it a little bit ago, so I will probably be adding to it as we go. Okay, so it looks like that is going. So I'm gonna pull that up there, set that aside, and let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna move us up a little bit. We're gonna be switching between some heights today because of what we're gonna be doing. So I'm gonna switch you up to this other tripod first. And then I'm gonna back up a little bit here. Okay, so as always, to get started, 2 deep breaths in. So deep breath in, exhale out, and another breath in, and exhale out. Roll your shoulders back. We're gonna take just a moment to settle in, let the worries of the day go, and let this moment be yours. So, just standing with your feet about hip width apart, whatever's comfortable to you. Feeling the weight of your feet. So you want to feel all the way from your toes, all the way to their heels, flat on the ground. So you want to feel the whole area. You want your hips to be neutral. So sometimes as moms, we tend to lean back a lot because we've been holding kids and bags and whatnot. So we want to definitely neutral position, flat feet. Shoulders open, not caved in like we usually do all day long. Shoulders back, standing tall, utilizing our height, feeling our bodies, and all being centered. So, just finding that neutral position. We're going to go ahead and just do a little more breathing before we move on. So, thinking about the breath coming from here, not up in your shoulders. Slowing it down at your own pace. Thank you for joining me today. I'm in Fort Collins, Colorado, so later go ahead and drop in the comments where you're watching from. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move on. So we'll twist our head to one side, take a deep breath in, exhale out, feel the muscles relax and droop. Shifting to the other side, inhale, exhale, back to center. Shifting our head to one side, inhale and exhale, going to the other side, inhale and exhale, back to this side, this time adding the same way your head is tilted, that arm on top and your other arm pushing down to give it just a little extra stretch. Again, keeping that neutral position. Don't let the weight of this change your pattern of how you're standing. You want to keep that nice posture, good airflow coming in and out. Switching sides. I hope you guys are all having a lovely week. Back to center. Let's go ahead. Oh, thank you for the love. Side, and then we're going to roll to the other side at your own pace. And we're going to go back the other way. And if you need to pause at any point, please feel free to take a pause. Good job. Let's go ahead and do that one more time, each direction. Don't forget your neutral position. And back the other way. And back up to center, shoulders raising up. And on the next exhale, let them drop. Raising up again. And letting them drop. Shoulders rolling back. 4 times. Thinking about your alignment. Thinking about your shoulders. Letting all that tension go. Going the other way. Using those muscles. Great job. Reaching arms straight out to the side. We're just gonna, again, find your neutral position, a few breaths in and out, making sure that you feel nice and tall. We're gonna go ahead and just shift our rib cage back and forth a few times, just to start loosening it up. You're doing great. Excellent job. Now let's do some arm circles. We're working different muscles this time in our shoulders. It's where we hold a lot of tension. Again, careful to keep your hips into alignment. You don't want to be thrusting forward. Going the other way, taking some deep breaths in and out. Great job. Taking your feet just a little wider if you want. Whatever's comfortable to you. We're going to reach to one side. Over and get a nice stretch all the way down this side over here. Back up and going the other side. Nice stretch through the other side. Again, keeping the alignment. Don't crunch your lower back. Back up one more time each way. It's nice to always get a second chance because the first one sometimes isn't enough. And one more time the other way. And back up. From here, we're going to grab our hands, flip them around, curving in. So I'll turn sideways, keeping your pelvis tucked. You don't want to arch your pelvis. This will be hard on your back. So keep it tucked, knees bent, curving forward, feeling it through your back and your shoulders. Standing back to neutral. Shoulders roll back. One more time, arms out, curving in. And back to neutral. This time we're going to open our arms up and we're going to extend them back, get a nice stretch, opening that chest. We spend a lot of time curved forward. Again, keeping our neutral pelvis. Nice, slow breaths. Excellent job. Shake those arms out. We're going to go ahead later and we're going to stretch them out some more after we do some other exercises. So from here, we're just going to move our ribs from side to side. We were doing a little bit of that already. Just a little bit of movement. Keep your knees bent if you need to. Now let's do a forward and backward. Just working that spine, giving it a break. We will be doing our child pose and our cat-cows down on the ground so that we can work that a little bit more. Hips, let's just move them side to side. One of these weeks, we're just going to do a little bit more of a movement class just to get us moving. Because movement gets those endorphins moving, which brings happiness. So we'll be doing some of that as well. Leaning forward, this time actually, yes, reaching through, crunching the back just a little. Give yourself a little rock here. This is a hip flexor stretch. You'll see dancers do this a lot right before a show. This is one of our movements to stretch those hip flexors out. And then curving in, lower back, rocking, just getting, again, keeping it tucked, just rocking it out. Excellent job. We're going to go ahead and roll all the way down, starting with our head to your shoulders. Now curving your shoulders over. Bend your knees slightly. Rolling all the way down. Reaching towards your toes. If you want to, once you're all the way down, stretch your legs straight if you want, or keep them bent. It's your choice. Go ahead and shake your neck out lightly. Just let it relax. Let all those muscles loosen up. Don't forget to exhale, release. Good job. Slowly rolling up. I have my crazy hair again. Okay, we're going to be moving to the floor. So I'm going to switch the camera down to a lower tripod. And we're going to be using a few little props today. So if you need a chance to go get those, I will give you a chance to go get those while we're doing some resting. So I'm moving you down to my other tripod today. And then I want to make sure we see the mat, which is right there. So that looks good. Okay. Excellent. So if you have these handy, if not, it's okay. You'll watch and learn today. But tennis balls, we're going to be using tennis balls towards the end. We are going to be using a rolling pin today. So if you have a rolling pin or any sort of thing that can be used like a roller. We're also going to be using, this is actually a dollar store mop handle. And we're gonna be using this today too. So if you want to take a moment to go get those things, you're welcome to do that, because we'll take a second here just to center ourselves, and then we'll come back to what we're using them for. If not, you can always come back to it later and then do those steps later. So sitting comfortably, again, my hips after 2 hip surgeries are still working on their flexibility, so I may not be in this position super long. So it can be crisscross, it can be in a chair, whatever's good for you. Sitting up nice and tall, you're using your hands on your legs, and we're pulling through our shoulders. Just getting a little bit of a stretch while we're pulling back just a little bit. Inhale, exhale, and you should deepen that stretch just each time you inhale and exhale. Good job. All right, back to center. Sitting tall. I'm gonna go ahead and crisscross my legs. That's just a hard position for me still. I won't get that back until I'm 9 months out from the second surgery, so it's gonna be a bit. All right, from here, we're gonna reach to one side again. Different stretch, different feelings. Inhale, exhale. Other side. Stretch. Inhale, exhale. All the way around. So we're gonna go to one side, going forward, other side, coming up. Now remember, keep both sits bones on the ground. We don't want to be lifting and rocking. Other side, and up. From here, contracting, and extending, and contracting, and extending. Back to center, arms down. Deep breath in and out. Great job. Okay. So let's move to our hands and our knees next. We're going to work on a little bit on those things we worked on last week. So we're going to start here. Neutral, knees under your hips, hands straight under your shoulders, abs contracted. So don't worry about being flat. You want to be working on those, keeping those abs contracted. So we're going to do opposite arm, opposite leg extension, or if you're only comfortable doing one arm or one leg at a time, you can do that. Your goal is to not wobble your hips, keep them still. Like if you put a glass of water on you, you would ideally want it to not tip over. That's how like stable you want to envision. All right, so opposite arm and opposite leg if you're ready. And here we go. Moving out. And exhale, bring it back in. Inhale out. Exhale in. Inhale out. Exhale in. Inhale out. Exhale in. Let's do 2 more today. Inhale out. Exhale in. Inhale out. Exhaling. Great job. Curving up and arching out. Curving up. Arching out. One arm through. Thread the needle. Back to center, other side. Back to center. We're gonna do just a couple planks today, not very many, because we're gonna be using that broom handle for something else later, so I don't wanna exhaust you yet. But again, that muscle contraction, muscle release will help reduce that anxiety, that stress, that tension those muscles are having. We're like working that tension and release. So remembering that last week, if you were with me, we talked about planks, and planks are like push-ups, but what we wanna work on is more of an arch. I want you to think of a curve so that you are pulling up on your abs and not using that lower back because it's too strenuous if you can't hold it and support it. So if you're strong and you want to, so here's some options if you're strong and you've got strength. You can do your normal plank, you can do a lower plank, but ideally we're gonna work on contracting. So again, curving up and making it like a little bit of a mountain. And breathing in and out. And then release. We'll do child's pose when we're done with this. And we'll do one more set. Up. And down. So let's go back into child's pose. Arms straight up above you. If this is too much, you can bring them behind you too. Whatever you need for you right now. All right, back to center. We're going to do our back exercises again. So laying down on your stomach, arms overhead, feet down. It'll be opposite arm, opposite leg. Keep your head down though. We don't want to creak your neck. So opposite arm, opposite leg. Same thing, inhale up, exhale lower. 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 Bringing those hands to your forehead. We're going to be lifting and arching our upper back. So slowly lifting up, and then lower. And then lifting up, and exhale lower. Inhale up, exhale lower. One more, up, and down. Arms out to the sides. We're gonna go for the elbows higher than the palms. The bird look is what we're going for. Head straight down. Here we go. And squeeze. And release. And squeeze. And release. Squeeze. And release. One more squeeze. And release. Great job. Pulling it in. We're going to arch up whatever is comfortable to you. Everybody takes a different length. So you can use your arms like this, and you're going to arch up and support yourself on your elbows. We want our shoulders not to be by our ears. We're not trying to increase the stress and the tension. We're trying to keep them down. So here is one position you can take. If you want, you can go up higher. Whatever your position is for you. I know I got kind of a bendy back. So it's one of the things that is flexible on me, but I know it's not necessarily that way for everyone. So do what is comfortable to you. And again, no shoulders up. It is important to keep your shoulders down. Go ahead and release that. Rolling onto one side, and then onto your back when you're ready. If you have your handle, we're going to go ahead and use that now. If you don't have your handle, you can still do this. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to use our abs. So we're going to contract our abs in. So everybody can practice that for a moment, contracting them in so that your lower back touches the floor. We are going to bring our legs up to here, like a tabletop, or they're just up. What we're going to do to work our abs is we're going to squeeze in and go underneath. And then we're going to go back the other way. So we exhale when we move it. So exhaling out. And then exhaling out. Doing that at your own pace, as slow as you want to go. We're just working those abs with things that we have at home. Building a nice strong core to help us in times of stress. Let's go ahead and do one more. Good job, put those down. We'll move that aside. So that's just a little exercise you can do, and it can work your abs to help build them and build that strength. Okay, again, tucking the pelvis. We're gonna work on that hip strength. The bridge that I told you is really important for hip strength. And we're gonna work those glutes. Glutes are really important. So keep your knees in line with your hips. Squeezing up, nice and straight. No crunching up here. Keep your shoulders down. Squeeze those glutes. and then lower down. We're gonna do that again, and then I'm gonna give you a challenge if you want it. So going up and balancing, taking a few breaths here, making sure your knees are in alignment, and going down. All right, if you want a challenge, you're gonna add a leg extension on each side. So all you do is take your leg and extend it when you're up there, one and then the other. Your goal is to keep your hips strong. If you're not ready for this, it's okay, don't worry about it. You don't have to do it. So we're gonna lift up. And when you're ready, and trust me, I'm gonna be wobbly. This is one of my exercises for my hip like building all my strength back up. So you're gonna lift up one, and then you're gonna lift up the other. It doesn't really matter how high it is, and then come back down. All you're just trying to do is keep that stability is what your goal is. And not like use your hands to grip down and hold. All right, let's do that one more time. Going up, lifting one leg if you want to, and then the other. And then coming back down. Good job. Let's bring both legs in. Stretching one leg out. Hitting that hip flexor on the other side while you're stretching in on this side. Stretching or switching sides. Hip flexor stretch. Both legs to center. You're going to tip your knees to one side. Doesn't matter which side, just one side. Reaching the arm out. If you want to take it more, you can lean even more and get a bigger spiral. Or you just take a gentle spiral. So whatever you're feeling today, whatever you need to do for you. Taking a few breaths here. Back to center, switching sides. Again, just tipping your legs over. Reaching your arm, however much you want to move your legs to get whatever stretch you want. The more you move over, the more spiral, the more upper stretch you get as well. Back to center. Taking a moment just to rest for you. Slowing the breath down, feeling relaxed. Rolling onto your side. We're going to be moving back to sitting for our next task. And up to sitting. This time we're going to take our legs out straight in front of us. And we're going to get a nice little stretch here, so we're going to be leaning forward. And slowly rolling up, shoulder roll, twisting to one side, deep breath, switching to the other side. Back to center. You're doing good. Okay, if you have a rolling pin or something like this is what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about our legs. So, one thing that's good when we have a lot of tension and we need to relax it a little bit is use a rolling pin. So you just start by rolling your quadricep and you roll all the way apart. So quadricep means 4, so there's 4 muscles in there. And you're rolling them all. So you can roll them however you want. And if you find a spot that's sore, you just go ahead and keep rolling that. You can put more pressure or less pressure, but really just light pressure is what you need to loosen it up. And then you do the same to the other leg. Just giving it a nice relaxing roll. That's for your quadriceps. If you have a foam roller, those work for the next part we're going to do. A little harder to maneuver for the top. So our shins, you can roll your shins too if you want, but there's not a lot of muscle there, but you have to kind of rotate your leg to get to that part, to let that part get a little bit of massage. So it may not be as comfortable to do that. So go ahead and rolling it just a little bit. Then the other thing you can do is bend your legs slightly and give yourself a calf roll. This one usually feels really good. Just rolling your legs behind. And then giving it to the other side. Now your hamstrings, you can do the same thing. You can roll underneath your hamstring, but another thing you can do is you can use your body and roll. Oops, I fell off my little mat, so I can either be on the mat or off the mat. But you're gonna lay your leg on it, and you're just going to move and let gravity do the work. So your leg is just laying on that rolling pin, and you're just sliding basically on it. You're just rolling it back and forth. Now I have a really tender spot in there. I can feel it. It's really stiff. So I could just, when you find a spot like that, like mine is right there, you can pause, take some breaths, let it relax. So let's go ahead and do the other hamstring. Again, letting gravity do the work for you, rolling back and forth, down, whatever you need for you. So rolling pins are great for this. So you can do your whole leg with your rolling pin. And if you're lucky, you can talk maybe one of your family members or something to help you and roll it too, because these are great on backs, but it's really hard for us to do our own backs, and it's not really comfortable to lay on it and roll it. So that's usually not the greatest way to roll on a pin, but the legs are a great thing that you can use this for. And sometimes, like after I had my hip surgery, I had a numb spot, and it's actually still a little numb, it's still coming back, but that's what I have to do, is to kind of keep the circulation going. So it's a good circulation piece. So you can do that with just a rolling pin. You can do the same thing with a tennis ball, just tennis balls are really small, so that's a little bit harder. So let's go ahead and get our tennis ball out, or a ball of your choice if you have it. We'll work more with tennis balls in the future on other areas, but this works really well, usually in a chair. So I'm on the floor, so it's not gonna be the easiest, but a chair is good. So you're gonna put it under your foot, and you're just gonna roll your foot. So what you're doing is you're trying to hit, I'm gonna show you my foot, the arch, you know, just roll it all in here so it relieves your foot tension, you know. And they sell little foot massagers that are kind of like rolling pins. I'm gonna do mine on my mat because my floor is a little slick, and that makes it a little hard. It wants to fly out on me. So you just roll it back and forth on your foot. And these tennis balls I just bought specifically for this. So, and again, I dropped a link down in the comment section to a place where I have things like mats and the rolling pins and stuff in case you need something like that and you want to look at those. Let's switch to the other foot. Rolling that foot, and again, a chair is great. So if you have an office space and you're taking a mindful moment here and there, bring it to work. Kick your shoes off for a second and just take the ball under your feet, and it will help you relieve stress. So that's always really good too. All right. The other thing you can do with a tennis ball is you can do hand squeezes, so you can squeeze and release with that. You can do that with both sides. You can also roll the ball. It's kind of stress relieving to roll the ball back and forth. You can use the ball on your quads, you know, to roll on your quads or your calves. We're gonna work a little bit more on this another day. Same thing with your hamstrings. So you can use the ball to use, or maybe you've got, you know, some sore spots and you just take the ball and you kind of push on those sore spots, those tender spots with your tennis ball. So that's another option that you can do. So those are just some things you can do with a tennis ball. And again, we'll be using some props like these in the future as well as we continue our stress reduction class, and we'll build some strength and that kind of thing too. So let's just take a moment to sit, and I will just Close your eyes if you feel like it. Focus on your breath. Slowing the breath down. Hopefully you're feeling a little more relaxed. All that, maybe if you've sat at the desk all day, it's starting to feel a little looser. That's great. So just taking some deep breaths. Letting this moment be yours. I'd love it if you follow me on Facebook. I'm doing short versions of this on Instagram at noon, and I'm doing short versions at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on my Facebook page. These longer ones are on Tuesday. Tomorrow I will be on Craft and Chat Live at 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, so we'll be making some fun crafts there. Love it if you'd share this on your page or with someone else who might need something. And again, I started the stress group, so I'll be saving a lot of these posts there if you want to practice them later. These are great things before bed, after bed, before bed. They help you sleep better, morning time, that kind of thing. I'd love it if you give me a thumbs up. That lets me know you, and again, drop things in the comments. I have my computer over there. I'm going to go over in a second. I'm going to read all the comments, and I will watch if you guys have any questions. So, arm across the chest. Told you to come back to these. Sitting tall. Seat bones on the ground. Shoulders down. Arm up and over. Oh, thanks for the love. Switching to the other side. Arm across the chest. And up and over. Back to center. 2 breaths here. And now with your arms, deep breath in. Exhale out. 1 more breath in. Exhale out. Thank you so much for joining me again this week. I want you to think of 3 things that you're grateful for today. Remember, we're working on the happiness advantage. Thinking of 3 things that you're grateful every day brings happiness to your life. I'm grateful for all of you, and I appreciate you joining me and join me in this stress reduction moment. And I hope that you have a good rest of your evening. And I will scoot forward here. And I will see you next time. Thanks for joining. Bye.